Good morning and welcome to Group 16's presentation on traffic assessment and evaluation. This rapidly developing world that we are currently living in is a cruel place, and more often than not, people are left behind. As the civil engineers of tomorrow, it is our duty to create solutions to the world's problems that benefit the greater good of mankind. We, as Group 16, believe that efficient transportation is the foundation required to allow the solutions we seek to become a reality. This presentation is an assessment of the transport impact of the urban development called Central Park. The effects of the development on existing and future infrastructure are discussed. Potential measures to be put in place to eliminate or minimize any negative impacts due to the development are provided and evaluated. We shall begin with a brief site description presented by myself, Andrew. Ahmed will then take you through the public transport sector of the study area. Following that, Zinzi and Ashton will discuss non-motorized transport as a potential solution. Lastly, Kokita will present an analysis of new transport-based infrastructure that could be implemented into the study area. Central Park is planned to be used as a socially integrated mixed land use development. The proposed uses of the development include retail, offices, shopping, light industrial, and residential. The property is located between the suburbs of Thornton and Maitland. The major negative impact of the new development is the increase in congestion due to the large change in land use in the area. This congestion is the main issue that is addressed within our presentation. I'll now hand over to Ahmed to speak about public transport.
Thanks, Andrew. Congestion has a significant impact on our lives. But how can we mitigate this issue? That shows baby effects. Hence, we needed a solution that reduces the congestion and decrease the flow density and average annual daily traffic on the road during peak hours. Well, let's shed some light on some of our solutions. To begin with, public transport is one of the solutions that may well be the answer to our problem. The idea behind public transport is to reduce the number of people traveling in private vehicles, which means fewer cars on the road and ultimately reduces the congestion and increase the span life and durability of the road's pavement. The current bus system are very insufficient in solving the congestion problem. Although it has a higher capacity than average private vehicles, it's still insufficient to reduce the traffic rolls. Then what's the solution? Bus Rapid Transit, BRT. BRT is a high-quality bus-based transit system that delivers fast, comfortable, and cost-effective. These services have a metro-level capacity. It is there through the provision of dedicated lanes with busways and iconic stations typically aligned at the center of the road. They offer fare collection and fast and frequent options and operations. Because BRT contains features similar to a light rail or metro system, it's much more reliable, convenient, and faster than regular bus services. With right features, BRT can avoid the causes of delay that typically slow regulation bus services, like being stuck in a traffic and queuing to pay on board. Making sure that bus lanes are widely enough for safety of the bus passengers, pedestrians and cyclists, with simplified bus routes and reduced branches, clearer road naming or numbers to promote ease on passengers. Extended peak and off-peak hours of operation during working days and weekends allow the distribution of passengers, easily usable and frequent schedules, and developed bus stops makes it easier for buses to access and leave during peak hours. Implementing smart traffic controllers will prioritize the bus movement to allow buses to work effectively on their schedules. An improvement to the bus network means improvement in the public transport system, thus using the BRT system to overcome the congestion problems and minimize the externalities of the rapid road user growth. Externalities such as pollution, road accidents, and many other difficulties in the base module of the study area. In Los Angeles, USA, it was found that 18% of the private car users shifted to the BRT system and 12.4% in Beijing, China. The Central Park area has an access to public transport, such as buses and minibus taxis, indicating that public transport is a feasible option in the area. According to the National Household Travel Survey in the Western Cape, the public transport has increased from 2003 to 2013. That means that the solution might be a viable, effective solution for the future. And now, let's move to Zenzi.
Thank you, Ahmed. Do you believe that anywhere is walking distance as long as you have the time? I do. Today's presentation will seek to show the connection between infrastructure and time, and its name is superblocks. Superblocks are geographical locations that cover many city blocks. These city blocks will be bundled up based on infrastructure. Will include diversity of land use and income so as to counteract the current apartheid city arrangement. Priority to pedestrians and cyclists in the space inside these blocks. An orthogonal bus transit system and dedicated loading areas at particular locations. And access to residential cars and buses at walking speeds of 10 kilometers per hour and 20 kilometers per hour respectively. A case study of Vitoria-Gasteiz in Barcelona shows that superblocks lead to a recovery of public space by 64% for pedestrians, promoting diversity of activities within this space, and thus proximity to services, and therefore incentivizing NMT and minimalizing congestion. Thank you. Over to you, Ashton.
Thank you, Zenzi. The fear of a cyclist traveling in a city is that one day he's gonna be hit by a car. Why? This is because NMT is still not recognized as a mode of transport. This lack of recognition is manifested in a general lack of consideration for pedestrians by motorists and lawless and reckless attitudes of pedestrians. Cars and delivery trucks can block them. Sometimes drivers open their doors into the bike lane without looking, and the pedestrians don't feel safe enough. If we want more people to bike and walk, we need more infrastructure. The transport network system in South Africa lacks integrated transport network approach. This means that there is a lack of universal design in the transport system. We propose the promotion of a pedestrian-friendly environment as one of the incentives of NMT, which is our solution to traffic congestion. This will be done by construction of exclusive pedestrian and cycling lanes and the creation of a safe pedestrian crossing area. This will help to reduce the vulnerability of pedestrians to potential road dangers around the study area. Despite reducing the level of traffic congestion in the area, the use of non-motorized transport system will help to reduce the negative externalities caused by motorized transport. Once NMT facilities such as pedestrian lane, cycle track, and cyclist parking facilities are built, only maintenance costs are needed in the future. NMT does not need fuel unlike motorized transport system, which causes the overconsumption of non-renewable resources, which is associated with environment hazards such as air pollution. This means that the NMT operational costs are very low as compared to motorized transport. In addition to that, the promotion of non-motorized transport can bring many social benefits to the society, such as improved health and increased livability. Thank you. We are now move on to Koketo.
Thank you, Ashton. The basic purpose of the bus shelter is to safeguard the passengers from the wind, rain, and to reduce congestion at bus stops. But an effort like better designs and attractive colors can enhance the overall performance of the passengers waiting for the bus. Most of the existing bus shelters, bus and taxi shelters, are unsafe as they are not spacious enough to accommodate all commuters who are in need of the bus and taxi services. This unsafeness leads to accidents, leading to both pedestrian and driver injuries and deaths. The whole aim of upgrading this is to reduce congestion, which will decrease the number of fatalities. The design of a bus or taxi shelter is very important. The design of the taxi and bus shelters are going to include accessibility, visibility, comfortability, and convenience. The bus must be visible to the public. People must not be forced to leave the shelters to monitor for approaching buses due to poorly built shelters that block sight of approaching buses. People must be able to easily board the bus. Accessibility is in a way that these bus shelters are accessible to everyone and people do not have to walk long distances to get to the shelters. Comfortability and convenience makes it easier for the commuters to be able to wait for the next bus without complaining a lot. Safety is also a huge factor as no one would want to be at an unsafe bus or taxi shelter. I'll now hand it over to Andrew to give you guys the conclusion. Your turn, Andrew.
Thanks very much, Kokito. This new development is very exciting, but it is pointless if the shifts in traffic due to this development are not addressed. The most viable and sustainable integrated solution is determined using the multi-criteria analysis. The final solution was found to be a combination of public transport and non-motorized transport. The implementation of solutions for public transport will reduce the number of single occupant vehicles and increase the amount of high occupant vehicles being used. With regard to non-motorized transport, the execution of solutions will result in a large reduction in carbon dioxide emissions being released into the air. If these solutions are put into practice, this study area could morph into a prosperous and sustainable piece of land. The transport system within an area is like the artery and vein arrangement within the human body. It connects everything around it and provides it with life. We must ensure that this transport system we create produces a happy and healthy life. Thank you.